Welcome to the Believe, Be Real, Be Bold podcast for authentic daters. I'm your host, Dave in Denver. Each week, we invite expert guests to come share their knowledge, tools, and tips to help you show up as your most authentic self. I want to welcome my guest, Jacqui Pugh. Jacqui, you're a life coach, a social coach, a motivational coach, and you're really well versed in emotional intelligence. Tell us a little bit about those certifications and why you got started in this business.
Okay. So life coaching is basically, it could be a multitude of different things, but let's say that you have a block in your life. So fitness, you like fitness. So let's say that you have a fitness goal that you want to achieve for like 15 years and you don't ever hit it. More than likely, there is a block that's happening. There's something mentally that may have happened when you were a child. It could have happened in high school. That is a limiting belief that is stopping you from getting that goal. So you self-sabotage. So we get to go into your life. We call it timelining work, which is really cool. We get to go back in time, figure out where it started, at least get an idea of where it started, and work on changing that limiting belief that you have so you can achieve what you want to achieve. Social coaching, basically how we interact with people. Motivational coaching, some people come and they already know what their goal is that they want in life, right? But they need the accountability to have somebody push them. I'm the person that's going to text you at 6 o'clock in the morning and be like, did you go do X, Y, and Z? Why not? And if you didn't, then we're going to have some kind of repercussion that you're not going to like to get you to where you want to be. Life coaching can also include like figuring out what your purpose is in life. A lot of people don't know
purpose.
that. Yeah. And then emotional intelligence is basically understanding who you are as a person, why you operate the way that you do, what triggers you and why, and then that helps you to relate to others in a more beneficial way. And then I also have my master practitioner in NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, which really does sum all of those up kind of into one, and it looks at personality typing, and a lot of work can be done for people that have phobias or anxiety around something. There's different little tools that I can give people to help them in situations like that.
That's awesome. Why did you choose to go down this path?
Because ever since I was a little girl, I just remember always being like the motivator and the inspirer, and for lack of a better term, like the cheerleader. I literally always see the potential in other people. And long story short, is dating. I don't know what this is rated.
Well, you can say whatever you want. Okay.
A man
you
that
can totally say that.
was acting like a douchebag. And because I was dating him, his last weekend together, he was gonna move. He wanted to take surf lessons. I was in LA, and so we took surf lessons from this guy that he found off of Groupon, and I just fell in love with our surf instructor's personality. I'm like, who is this guy? His light, his energy. I just want to be his friend. So I just stayed in touch with him, and lo and behold, that's my now life coach, Preston Smiles.
Right.
Yeah, who's like huge now, and he started out as a surf instructor, so he can build everything up. But I saw what he was doing as he was building his life coaching company, and I was like, I did not know that was a job. I want to do that. So, yeah.
So you saw a surf instructor from LA while you were dating a douchebag.
Yeah.
There's a few of them out there.
Just a couple.
Or three. I think you've met all three. And so you stayed in touch with this person and you followed his journey, and then he is your mentor and coach as well.
Yeah.
So he helped you break through, or?
Yeah, I had a lot of work that I had to do, because that's another thing, is I'm not putting anybody down, but a lot of times people are like, I want to be a life coach. It's like saying I want to be a personal trainer and never doing any of the work. Like, what you don't really know. Unless you're just motivating somebody, great. But you have to do the work yourself. You have to become the best version of yourself, know how you operate, go through all of the work that they're going to have to go through in order to be able to help people and to be able to relate. Like, this is gonna suck. I know how it feels, but I'm encouraging you to do this because I came out of it.
Yeah, because I've been there before.
I've been there.
Yeah. Right. So you have to have your own life experience in order to motivate and coach somebody through their own life.
That's how I feel about it. Yeah.
I completely agree, and I like that you bring up fitness and personal training. Yeah. I see a lot of people operating without certifications. No judgment here, but you know what? There's a lot of resources out there to help us get better so that we can impact more lives.
Well, the thing is like I'm saying, even life coaching, you don't need a certification to be a life coach. State of Colorado, you don't need it.
I'm just going to say it, and I'm going to be it, and therefore I have a business.
And there I am. And that's fine as long as you do the work yourself. As long as you dig in deep. You can be a personal trainer without a certification if you've done it all, if you've studied it on your own. You know what I mean?
I do know exactly what you mean. And let's go a little bit more about like how you started. You saw somebody else doing the exact same thing you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then he mentored you and coached you. How did you get started?
Actually, I followed him. I just followed him and stayed in touch with him and hired him a couple more times to teach me how to surf. I met him in 2012, and I didn't do a one-on-one session with him until end of 2013. I went through a really bad breakup. So I did one one-on-one coaching session with him, did my homework for a month, literally changed my life. And then I got a taste of what it was like, like being a client, but also seeing the work that he does. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. But then I have mind-limiting beliefs. You're an actress. Like, even though you have a million certifications, you're waitressing. Who's going to believe you? So I had to get past my own stuff. And then I got into real estate here. I moved to Colorado for a guy. That didn't work out.
Another DB?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He didn't do his work, that's all. And my gut knew better, but I didn't listen to it. I was in love with the idea of being in love, so I moved for someone that I didn't even love. Stupid. But he broke up with me 6 days after I got here over the phone, and I didn't even have my stuff here yet. There are a lot of details. It was a little traumatic, but I held it together, and then I got into real estate because you're supposed to have a quote-unquote big girl job. And I don't mind real estate. I'm really good at it not in like a cocky way. I'm just good at it. I care about my clients, and I care about the research of it. I want to know why I'm doing X, Y, and Z. But I didn't wake up every morning feeling like, oh, I can't wait to go find someone to buy or sell a house to. Like, no. Like, that just was not happening. I knew that I was made to do something more in this world that would have a great impact on humanity. And so I hit rock bottom. Like rock bottom. I didn't work for 2 months.
Did you travel during that time, or did you stay?
No, I was full-blown depressed.
Okay. You're alone with your dog in your place.
In my place, there was 1 week where I sat on my couch in the same exact spot for a week straight. And I was like, something has to change. But then you have family, and you have friends, and society that's like, you're supposed to have a big girl job. You're supposed to stick to one thing. Now you're in real estate. You're supposed to stay focused on that. But my heart just like my soul literally was just eating itself alive. And so I knew something had to change. And my coach, Preston, he had a bunch of different programs that he had launched throughout the years, and none of them were right for me. But that week that I felt something needed to change, he launched a program called Stretch 22, which is a 6-month, intense, deep, 24/7 mind, body, soul boot camp. And I was like, I don't have the money. I don't care how much it costs. Sign me up. Because the common denominator in my failed relationships and feeling unfulfilled in life was me. So I was the one that had to change. So I opened up a new credit card, threw thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars down, got into the program, and I have not looked back since then. Like, more breakdowns than you can ever imagine. Like, self-work is not a cute thing, It's like, you have to go in there and you have to face your demons. So tons of breakdowns. That was like the least amount of fun I ever had in my entire life. But
on the other side.
So
Where
worth
are we
it.
at? Yeah?
Like, so worth it. Now I own my own company and I help people. But the timing of it really did work because I needed to go through all of that heartache to really hone in on what's going on inside of me so I can be of most value to everybody else versus just jumping in blind, you know?
I know exactly what you mean. So who is it that comes to you? Who looks to you for help?
Honestly, a wide variety of people. I know you're supposed to have a niche, but I guess my niche is people. I'd say primarily age-wise, 25 to 45. They can be single or not single. I've helped people like moms who are in full-time jobs, they're married, they have a baby. Literally, like, I just organize their calendar and tell them what to do so that they aren't as stressed out. All the way to people who have crazy pasts that they need to overcome, major blocks, patterns that they need to work through. So everywhere in between there for one-on-one clients. But then I also have my breakup program.
Right.
Yeah.
So all of this is part of Unzipped, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about Unzipped, and then we'll talk about the breakup program.
Unzipped. Let's get unzipped. That's my hashtag. Because it's a little provocative, but it's fun. But it literally means like unzipping your heart, unzipping your soul, get all the crap out, and live your life to your truest self. So it's like, let's get unzipped, let's get real. So within that is just me. It's me doing all the things that I love that I know help the world. So one-on-one coaching, my breakup program, and I also do acting because that fulfills me.
I've seen you in a couple of commercials. We actually connected on social media a couple years ago, and then we finally met in person. Like, we connected, and I asked, hey, how can we collaborate? And I think that was last May or June.
Yeah, I think so.
And I got wind of what you were trying to do. Like, we actually talked about how you're going to deliver this program to other people. Now, how is it that people are receiving your coaching?
Amazing. Like, when I first started coaching, I was like, I didn't have my certification yet, right? But I had done all the work. And I'm like, well, I don't have my certification. I'll feel better once I get my certification. So I dropped my breakup program, and my inbox just filled up with people who were not single or going through breakups. And were like, I need your help. I'm not, like, in this category, but I need a life coach. I was like, okay, God, I guess you think I'm ready. So it was like the first day of school. I was like, Mom, I have my first life coaching client. I'm kind of nervous. And like 5 minutes in, I was like, girl, what are you nervous about?
Yeah,
this is what you're born to do.
Yeah, this is what you're meant to do. That's outstanding. So what can somebody expect when, maybe on day one, but also as they go through the program? What can they expect to get from
honestly,
Unzipped? And
so one-on-one coaching is not a planned program. Each person is their own entity. Each person has their own thing going on. So I'm going to even use myself as an example. I went into Stretch 22 wanting to work on my vision, and I ended up realizing, I actually have to work on these parts of myself. And I spent 6 months doing that rather than my vision. So when people come into coaching, a lot of times they might want to work on, I have a client wanting to build his personal training business or a restaurant. But realistically, there's a lot of other stuff that has to happen before that in order to get into the right mindset to get the restaurant and everything that you want. So it really just depends on the client.
Awesome. So you've said two key words that I love. Early on, you said limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And then you just said mindset. So let's talk about the most common limiting beliefs that you find are holding people back.
Self-love, you guys. I hate the word. I'm not going to lie. I hate cliche terminology. I even wrote that in my book. I just wrote a book, and I'm like, I'm typing self-love, and I kind of want to throw up a little bit.
Because you're getting real.
Like, yeah, but it's like so cliche. Like hashtag spirit junkie. That's cool. That's fun. Self-love just sounds like boring work. But So I like to call it self-appreciation.
Self-appreciation.
I'm working on a cooler word though.
Okay.
But even in my breakup program, everybody's like on it. They're doing their work. They're dealing with what they got to deal with, and then self-love time comes, and it's silent. And when it first happened, I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, where did everybody go? But what happens, it's for the first time ever that you are being forced to look at yourself, to focus on yourself. It's always like, I got to deal with, being injured from this thing or this traumatic event. But actually it's like, oh, I have to appreciate myself. I have to find value in myself, because I'm used to thinking I'm too fat, or look at my love handles, or I'm going bald, or picking out all the things that are horrible about myself. And that is usually the biggest limiting belief, is self-doubt, self-value, self-deserving.
Okay. And then once you address the limiting beliefs that are holding people back, how does that change their mindset so that they can experience growth?
Oh my God, in such an amazing way. So basically what happens with your brain is you have a thought, and we'll just imagine like it's like an arch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have a thought, and so you have this negative thought that arches all the way over, and a negative thought that arches all the way over, and then from there another one stems out that arches all the way over. And so let's call it like a blue brain, is what my teacher used. So you end up having this blue brain that's filled with negativity, because it just spirals off of each other. When you're trying to work on limiting beliefs and increasing your self-appreciation, it's not that you don't have these thoughts about yourself anymore. You're human. Of course you do. It's you have the thought, and then you catch yourself. And you're like, if you're like thinking, my legs look massive today. Oh, I just caught myself. You know what? Some people don't have legs. I'm really lucky to have legs. And every time that happens, the negative arch suddenly becomes just like a little line, because you keep cutting it off.
It doesn't connect within the...
It doesn't keep connecting.
Okay.
So then you end up, eventually over time, let's say the positive thought is red, you have like a brain that's mixed around with blue and red, but over time it becomes more and more red. And that becomes your norm for thinking versus all negativity. So once you're on that, guys, every single thing in life is mindset.
I would agree. Absolutely.
Everything. And law of attraction.
Yeah.
It's all mindset.
Okay.
Because it's your energy that you're putting out there, So once you conquer your brain and your thoughts and your mentality, you're set for life.
All right. So let me ask a clarifying question. Let me make sure I'm hearing you correctly. The human brain has about 60,000 thoughts per day. So that's approximate. And not all of those are true.
Most of them are not.
Most of those are untrue. So if you're catching yourself with a negative thought and you stop it before it occurs, you're probably most likely stopping an untrue thought. Is that basically what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As simply as we can put it.
As simply as you could put it, yeah. Because there are two things. This is an incredible distinction. There's truth with a capital T, and there's truth with a lowercase t. So your negative thoughts about yourself are truth, we'll say, with a lowercase t. If you tell me that, Jacqui, you're not a life coach, if that's what you were to tell me, that's truth with a lowercase t. That's what you're saying,
okay,
but that's not the truth.
Not necessarily
That's
true.
not the truth. And as a human being, we each have the ability to decipher what information is coming toward us. Are we going to decide that it's truth with a capital T or a lowercase t? So if I took what you're telling me, Jacqui, you're not a life coach, as a capital T, I'm probably going to self-sabotage everything in my career. Only because I'm believing to what you say is truth when it's not. We all know I have my certifications. I'm a life coach. I have a company. But just that alone, just my mindset of taking it for face value, I've now ruined my whole life.
Because it attacks the limiting beliefs that you're already trying to work on?
It could create a new limiting belief. If if I choose to believe that, that's creating a whole nother limiting belief.
I can totally grab onto that concept and run with it for like 30 minutes. But I want to dive into deeply why I invited you here.
Okay.
So we are striving to build a community of authentic daters in Denver. And I want to address the elephant in the room and what makes Denver unique when it comes to dating.
Do you be nice?
No, I want you to be real. Let's get unzipped with Jacqui.
I have lived everywhere across the country, Florida to Alaska. I've seen a lot of the dating scene. I lived in Denver 10 years ago. And granted, this is just my perspective because I like manly men. I like country guys. I like chivalry. When I lived here 10 years ago, there was tons of it here. Then I moved to LA. I'm like, should I say this? But whatever, it's the truth.
Just blow it up.
My saying that I created with my girlfriends in LA for guys when we would go on dates is gay until proven straight. I love gay people, but
right.
I'm homosexual. Okay. I'm heterosexual.
Okay, all right.
So most of them were just, I mean, if they weren't gay, it was just like extremely, extremely, extremely feminine. And I'm like, oh, I can't do this. So when I moved back to Colorado, I was expecting it to be like manly guys again.
Cowboy.
Yeah, and it's very much turning into a little LA. There's this sense of one, slight entitlement, and what I think is really going on, Denver in general is a very surface level city. People don't really get deep like this for the most part. It's a very surface level conversation. And one comes from what we call as like awake, you know? Like, are you woke? Are you like conscious? Like, where you realize all the stuff that we're talking about, like you're doing work on yourself. But a lot of people aren't there yet, and they just fly by on the seat of their pants, doing their bro stuff, whatever it is that they've done since they were 21, and that's what they do. And there's this like fear of commitment. I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's a major fear of commitment in Denver on the women's side and the girls' side. I'm not blaming either side. And my feeling on it, because I literally have been on more than one date where guys have told me on our date, talking about their ex-girlfriend, oh, she's just the one that got away. Why am I here? Like, why am I here on this date when you're clearly still in love with your ex? So it usually ends up turning into a coaching session. But I asked a guy once, he was a great guy, and he said, he told me about how, now he was 33, and him and his ex-girlfriend broke up when he was 25. So this was 8 years ago. And he ended up drinking a lot after that. And I was like, well, he's telling me like how in love they were and all this stuff. I'm like, well, how'd you get over it? He's like, the drinking? And he was already drinking a lot.
Okay.
I was like, no, your breakup. And he was like, huh, I guess I'm over it. I was like, oh boy, you are so not over it. And then he goes on to tell me, which was really cool though, because he was being like open and honest. He's like, I don't know, I just feel like I haven't ever been able to like emotionally let anybody in my space. And I'm like, but you just told me that your parents were super in love, and you also told me that you and your ex were majorly in love. He's like, yeah, we were. I'm like, so you are capable of it? He's like, I guess so. I was like, but have you not been able to emotionally attach to a girl since your ex? He's like, oh, I never thought of this. Because he hadn't done any work on it. Like so we have all these people, especially once you hit 30, most of us have been in some kind of a relationship that has had some kind of impact on us. Usually some sort of ineffective impact on us, right? So when people don't deal with it, then internally you're scared. You don't want to get hurt again. So Denver is this amazing community where we have all these groups of people that are, you know, co-ed groups, and you kind of flirt with your guy friends, you flirt with your girlfriends, but nothing happens, but you're getting this attention is satisfied there. So when it comes to dates, if you have a bunch of people that are scared to be vulnerable, the only thing that they're really missing is hooking up.
Oh, all right. Okay, there's
right?
a significant
So then
factor.
it gets,
okay.
that need gets met. You can still go do whatever you quote unquote want to do, and then you have your friends that give you all the attention that you want. And you get to stay safe the whole time.
All right, so it's self-preservation. And even though this gentleman was being open and honest, he wasn't being self-aware or authentic with himself.
No, he not until that moment.
Not until that moment. It was like an aha moment for him on a date with a good-looking girl who asks him one question, and he's like, wow.
Yeah, he literally like looked off into space and like thought about it. But I was glad that he was, you know, thinking about it.
He woke up in front of you?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Right.
He got woke.
Right. He got woke in front of you.
Yeah.
It's like it happened.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic concept, and I completely agree. There's so much I want to ask you.
Okay, one more thing I'll say about that while you think about it. Is another thing in Denver is most guys do not approach women anymore. Because we all have this clutch in our pocket. And I even caught myself. When I would have my app, like I'm an outgoing person, but whenever I had an app, even though I didn't really use it, I became less outgoing because I have this little like safety clutch in my pocket to meet a guy. What was I saying about this? Oh, so it's become like, literally, I kind of stopped going out a lot with friends, like with girlfriends, because it just became like an episode of The Bachelor. Like there's one cute guy in the bar, and all the girls literally just surround him, and it just like sharks, and whoever's the most aggressive will win.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, that's great. Like you got him for the night, but like realistically, like after 1 or 2 dates, I know what's going to happen, and it does keep it. I've watched it happen. Next time that guy goes out, the next aggressive girl he's going to go with. You know what I mean? But guys don't have to like really put in the effort anymore because women are like, oh my God, we want a date. We want a date. Like, well, I'm just going to go up to him then, since nobody will talk to me.
Okay, so I've heard of this community called Menver, which alludes to like an overabundance of men in the community who are single.
It's a boyver.
Oh, it's no longer the men in town. We're all just little boys on the dating scene. So most. Yeah, we can't generalize that everybody's in that category. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this podcast. Yeah. Or maybe that's why we have it. So how do you intend to change that concept or change that unauthentic into authenticity?
Honestly, that is why I have my breakup program, which actually it's kind of evolving more into just like a singles program, because the people that come out of my program, girls or guys, if I was a girl or a guy, I'd be like, I actually would contemplate dating. Like if I was attracted to you, you would be a person that I would be open to dating, because you're self-aware. You're self-aware of how you affect other people, of how you're feeling. Because that's why I created the program, honestly, is because of that date I just told you about. That was like the icing on the cake. And I was like, I gotta help these guys. Somebody's gotta help them. And so I came up with my breakup program, because I was like, well, that's a niche. Like, I've never heard of anybody do something like that. And I would have paid $1 million to have something like that after some of my breakups. But realistically, it all stems from, you know what? If you want to attract somebody awesome, guess what you have to be?
You also got to be awesome.
You got to be awesome. And not just because you say you're awesome. Like, you can't, it's not this cocky thing. It's, if you need to be who you want to attract. Like attracts like. And so if we want to see this dating pool get better, it's not going to get better just because I want it to get better. It's only going to get better when I do the work, and you do the work, and our friends across the street do the work, and everybody else does the work to literally raise the bar. So many girls I know like want to date, and they, well, I don't really like that, but I'm going to lower my bar down to here because I really want to date. And that's not okay, you know? And so, like, as a collective, women, we need to hold hands and hold men accountable for the standards that we want them to rise to. But nobody's holding them accountable, so we can't blame them either. If I didn't have to put in work either, like, why would you? You know? So they need to go hand in hand. But as I was saying, like, once you hit 30, you have a bunch of stuff in your life that you probably haven't dealt with. So it's time to, like, look inside, dig it all out, figure out what your patterns are. Why are you attracting what you're attracting? What are you committing to? What are your new standards? What are you allowing your life, not allowing your life? How are you allowing yourself to show up in life? And then create a new vision, and then you can go date.
Oh, that's an incredibly well-made statement, and I appreciate you saying that. So let's just paint the picture a little bit. Let's say I'm on a date.
Yeah.
Let's put it from your perspective. Let's say you're on a date. How do you identify somebody who's self-aware and authentic, and decipher that from the BS?
Oh my God, I know it in like 1 second.
You do?
Yeah.
How? Tell, please.
Literally in like 1 second. Well, one, I'm a big energy person. I'm big on vibes. So I can tell in 1 second, like, just by the energy, if it's what I'm into or not. Not necessarily just attracted to, but the kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess awareness. How aware they are just by their energy. If someone, many dates here, many guys here, I hear this from, when I say all this stuff, it's not just my perspective. This is like collective from my friends, guys and girlfriends. But a lot of guys on dates only talk about themselves. Like, you literally just sit, it's like, I'll ask a question, they'll answer it, they'll go on, and then it's like silent. And it's like, well, you could ask me the same thing back, but you're not, so I'll just ask you another question about yourself. One, that's like emotionally not aware.
Okay.
Why would you not reciprocate, right?
Sure.
Another thing is, if you bring up anything that's semi-deep, like your goal in life, or a vision, or if you could have any job, what would it be, or whatever, anything that's like semi-deep, and they give you like a very surface level conversation, it's like, forget it.
All right. This person
You
is
can't
not
go
woke.
there. They're not woke, yeah.
So I love that we're transitioning into this next point that I want to make. What is off limits on the first 1 to 2 to 3 dates? If you want to ask a deep question, how deep is too deep early on?
Well, I'm an open book.
Right, but these guys aren't asking you the question after they talk about themselves. So
Since I've done a lot of work, I have been attracting more emotionally intelligent men. It's been like super exciting.
Good.
But what do you mean exactly in terms of what? Like, kissing or?
Oh, no. We're not talking about like physical. We're talking about like, you're an open book, I'm an open book. We understand that about each other, but you've just met this person and you're on date number 1, and they just finished telling you a little bit about themselves to answer a question, and they don't ask that question back, maybe because they don't know how deep is too deep to go. They just don't necessarily know how to respond because you just gave them an aha moment, and maybe they're processing, or they're just not woke.
I think they're just not woke.
Okay,
because like, if I were to ask you a question, you would ask me a question back.
I would hope so.
You know, I walked in the room and you're like, hey, what's going on? How's your job going? You asked me a question. Like, any, like, I don't want to say it like this, but like any quote-unquote normal person is going to be like, hey, how are you? What did you do today? Like, what's your favorite thing to do? Like, there's like a million questions in the world that you could ask. So to just sit there and wait for someone to ask you questions just so you could talk about yourself, that's not...
So how do we... I love it. That's awesome. So how do we make self-aware and authentic the new normal?
That's what I believe by my program, by what I'm creating.
Okay,
so like, I'm on a mission to have as many singles as I can do this work. Because then once you do it, it's not like you have to do it forever. You take the tools with you for the rest of your life. You're set, as long as you keep up with it.
So that journey never ends.
No. I got off the journey after my 6-month stretch that I was on. No pun intended, because that's what it's called.
Stretch 22.
Stretch 22. And I got off maybe for like 2 months. I stopped being aware of what I was doing, and I watched a massive shift in just like my mindset and where I was headed in life. So then I got back into another program, and now I'm like back to back, like every day. You have to work on it every single day.
Totally agree. If we're going to create by laws of attraction, or if we're going to build a community of authentic people, self-aware people, where would we go to meet somebody like that? How do we build a community?
That's what I'm working on.
Right? How do we build a community of people a lot like like you?
I just started a Facebook page.
Now, is this the group that I'm a part of, or is this a page?
It's a different group called Wokehood.
Wokehood.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I might have seen it on Instagram.
Oh, I just made the handle. You found it on Instagram?
No, I think Instagram said, "Hey, you got Jacqui's number in your phone. By the way, your friend Jacqui is on Instagram underneath this new handle."
So weird,
right?
That's crazy.
It's super creepy.
I haven't done anything with it yet. But because that's what I'm like, you know what? I want to meet more like-minded individuals, and I meet them when I continue doing my self-work and I join more programs and stuff like that. Then I have a very solid community of like-minded individuals that I love, that push me to be the best version of myself. I don't really have money in Denver. I don't know, like 5 or under.
Okay.
So I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, Wokehood. I'm creating a group called Wokehood where like any conscious, that's another term I would like to change, but any like conscious human being that is aware that I meet is going into that group. And then anybody that they know is going in, so we can start to literally just form this massive group of people. More than likely, a lot of them will be single. And then guess what I get to create? I get to help people find dates, right?
Right, absolutely. So people in Denver who want a more authentic experience of dating, one, they can come to you. 2, I love that you brought up Instagram, social media, and then this clutch or the crutch that's in your pocket. Now, let's really quick before we finish up for the day, talk about social media and the health, authenticity, and the unhealthy arena that it can be.
Oh, I can go on forever about this. I think it's really important to just put it into perspective. Now, I preach authenticity. That's my job. That's my brand. So yeah, you will see me on Facebook sometimes where I'm a little emotional and I might have tears in my eyes, right? But for the most part, you're not gonna post a picture of you laying on the ground having a breakdown, right?
Probably not.
You're probably not gonna post that.
Right.
But you're gonna post a picture of yourself killing it at the gym or on an amazing hike that you went on with friends, right? So we all post what we want people to see. So when you're sitting there scrolling on Facebook, comparing your life to all these other people's lives, those are literally moments of their lives. They're moments. More than likely, most people haven't done this work yet either. So they got a whole bunch of crap going on in their life that they haven't figured out. But this is a happy moment, so they're sharing it with the world. But when you look at it, comparison is our worst enemy. So when you look at it and you're comparing your life to theirs, you're comparing your life to a lowercase t.
That is not the truth.
It's not the truth. More than likely. I mean, I hope it's the truth for them majority of the time, but that's not their whole life. So it's very, very unhealthy. Same thing with, I'm sure you feel the same way with like body pictures and modeling pictures and fitness magazines.
Is that reality?
Is that reality?
Yeah, is that reality? So can we ask ourselves when we're scrolling through social media or when we meet somebody via an app and we're just seeing those moments captured for everyone to see, that's why we post them. Like, how do we get beyond that? How do we actually capture authenticity via social media or to get past that negative? that lowercase truth?
I think if you're going to be online, just literally have in your mind, okay, I'm going online and I'm scrolling and I'm looking at all of everybody's best moments. These are their best moments right now. This is not their life. These are their best moments. So that you start to understand this is not 100% of the time. I'm okay. Like, I'm okay. I don't know, did that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the mindset. And we talked about that earlier, and fixing your mindset or creating a better mindset for yourself helps you approach the entertainment or the quality of what you're seeing on social media. From a perspective of like, these people want to share their best moments of their day. So I'm going to approach it as I'm only going to be the most supportive that I possibly can be when responding or interacting or engaging on social media. How's that for a game plan?
Yes.
Yeah?
Are we giving tips about this kind of stuff? Because tips would be don't be a troll. Like, people are putting themselves out there, and whether they're putting out something that's positive or negative in your mindset, if you don't like it, just whoop, it's gone.
Yep,
Like,
keep going,
just scroll
keep scrolling.
past it. But the more that we analyze these tiny little posts that are on Facebook or Instagram, mostly Facebook. Facebook has gotten pretty ineffective with the content that's out there. But the more we analyze that, okay, now your vibration is filled with negativity. Now you've put it on Facebook. The person that posted it, now their vibration is filled with additional negativity because you just attacked them. Now the other people reading the comments are also filled with the negativity because they see the fight going back and forth. And you literally have just contributed to spreading that much more negativity all around the planet. It just spreads like wildfire.
And it snowballs.
If you see it, just bypass it. Go on with your day. Like,
all right.
Who cares? You have more important things to do in life than to agonize over something like that. Like, be productive. Spread positivity. Spread love. Ignore the people that don't light you up.
Would you recommend taking like a social media hiatus or a cleanse?
I do.
Yeah. How often? How long?
I try to do it like once a month for a weekend, and I literally will post on my social media, I'm not available from this date and this time to this date and this time. Leave me a message and I will get back to you. Because you need it. You need to get out of it. But in our realm of what we do, we have to be on social media all the time. But I literally will delete my Facebook app off my phone from 10 a.m. typically to about 9 p.m. unless something comes up and I'm like, oh.
For a full day or for a full weekend?
No, like every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Okay. Because we got stuff to do, right?
Yeah, because otherwise you get caught up. It's like hours and hours and you're like, I did nothing but scroll and like stuff that I don't even know what I liked. Yeah. I delete the app off my phone so it's not there all the time.
That's a good strategy. You mentioned a book. Tell me about the book.
I do have a book. You guys can help me pick out the title.
Right, I saw that the other day. I voted.
I know you did.
Yeah.
Thank you. Which one did you vote for?
Number 3. So that was, I like the single AF and loving it because it's congruent with what you're talking about as far as I know right now. This woke hood is brand new.
Yeah.
So again, it comes back to the content of the book, content of what I've already seen from you, as in single AF. I love the group. There will be information in the blog post about how to become a part of that group.
And I will start being more active on there.
Right.
Now that all my business is taken care
Right. I absolutely love single AF and loving it because it's a mindset. And as soon as you see that title, my mindset shifts. I'm like, you know what? I really do enjoy being single.
Good. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I made a post about this last Valentine's Day. And everybody was calling Valentine's Day SAD. S-A-D. And I was like, what is this? Single Awareness Day.
Single Awareness Day.
And I was like, are you kidding me? So I made a post, and I knew my research stats. And there are 110 million singles in America aged 18 and over. That could be divorced, never been married, widowed, but 110 million. So for you to sit there and think, that you were poor me, the only single in the entire world. It's not true. It's true with the capital or with the lowercase t. And so what I like to honor about that is congratulations, because you either got out or you're not in a relationship that does not serve you.
Amen.
It is way worse to be single and be alone than to be in a relationship and feel lonely.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
Way worse.
All right.
So take the time that you have, work on you, figure out who you are and exactly what you want, because realistically it's like, how can you call on your perfect match when you don't even know who you are? How do you know who your perfect match is if you don't know who you are?
Yeah, the common denominator is you. Mm-hmm. And if you're not doing that personal work, you're going to continue to keep attracting the same thing over and over again, because it's up to you.
Yeah.
So thank you so very much, Jacqui. This was so much fun. How can people get in contact with you?
Oh gosh, you could put all my contact information on the bottom.
Oh, I'm gonna.
But Instagram's usually a good one.
Okay.
Instagram, Jacqui, JACQUI _Pugh, PUGH.
All right, so we'll follow you on Instagram. That handle will be in the show notes. Thank you so very much, Jacqui. If this resonates with you, please don't hesitate to reach out to Jacqui. She's got an amazing online accessible, right? Anywhere in the world?
Anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. She's local to Denver. She's going to help us build this community of authentic daters in Denver, which is our number one goal. But it's been my pleasure, Jacqui. Thank you so very much.
And I'm going to come back so I can give dating tips.
Okay, so we're going to invite Jacqui back at some other time. And maybe, you know what, when you reach out to her on Instagram or on social media or via her blog, ask her what her top dating tips are from now until then. Engage with Jacqui, because she's here. She's way more of an expert than I am. I'm simply just your facilitator. Ask her what her top dating tips are, and then say, like, 6 months?
Yeah.
5 months? 4 months?
Yeah.
You know, I love summer in Denver because it is, like, the best time to date. We've got so much to do.
Yeah.
What events would you direct people to find authentic people in Denver?
Oh my gosh.
What's coming up in your world?
Church. Literally, that's all I can think of.
Right?
For authentic dating.
But we don't date at church.
Church.
Like, I hear that that's kind of a bad first date.
Oh, you mean to go do or to meet people?
Let's go meet some people. What events are coming up?
You can go to any event to meet people. If you're looking for specifically a where, that's where it was like, There's Taco Fest coming up.
Where? What? Taco Fest?
Taco Fest.
I'm in.
The Polo Party.
Polo Party.
What else do we have coming up? There's in Colorado Springs. That was really cool. The Hot Air Balloon Fest.
Okay.
Have you done that?
I haven't.
So cool.
All right.
Like literally like hot air balloons to that green stripe in there, laying on the ground that you could just touch. Like, they're massive. I didn't know how big they were. I don't know. That's all I can think of right now.
Concerts, Rockies games, are these just like random acts of the laws of attraction, just kind of bringing us together?
Yeah, I mean, I literally believe that even down to your Uber driver, you attract who you are supposed to meet at that time.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up on that, because I know that we just like went on a tangent there, and I love that, because I definitely wanted to ask that question for you, because you would know where to find authentic people in Denver.
No, honestly, I'm still looking. I'm still. That's why I'm creating Wokehood.
Okay.
Because I'm still looking too.
Thank you so much again, Jacqui. This was so much fun.
Thanks for having me.